Hello, welcome to a kind of special episode on the theXdeity channel, on my channel. Yesterday, I ordered, before yesterday, but it came in yesterday, I ordered Nintendo Power issue 141, which I believe is from February 2000, simply because, as you can see on the cover, look at the bottom, Hype the Time Quest, and we all know how obsessed I am for Hype the Time Quest. And this video is mostly for Hype Forever and my website, as a kind of, if you're on the website saying, hey, fun thing to watch, right? So here we go. Here's the first page where by the way, this video, I'm going to be going through all 6 pages. This is me flipping through it in the 6 coverage. It's pretty much a walkthrough guidebook for Hype the Time Quest for the Game Boy Color, which I have played on my channel if you go back a few years. So let's get started. We're gonna start on the first page with you can see Hype the Time Quest right there. Boom, Hype. And it says classic Playmobil figure. Let's try that again, shall we? Classic Playmobil figures are the latest toys to come to life on screen, appearing in a new Ubisoft adventure on Game Boy Color that's perfect for young gamers, and we all know how young a gamer I am. So, backstory on this is when, in 2000, this is when the Game Boy Color was kind of reaching its end. The Game Boy Advance was almost out. I believe it came out in, 2001? Yeah, whatever. So, the first thing we notice here is they've got some cool art in the background of a castle. It doesn't look like tourists, but whatever. Throughout these whole pages, they've got cool like art and just cool concept art that was never in Hype the Time Quest, but whatever. All right, so here we've got Hype, a little picture of Hype, which is on the box of pretty much every version of Hype except for the PS2 version. So here we go. I'll walk through history. And this just says about Ubisoft's time-traveling escapade, it says. So here are the weapons. It's got a sword. Yeah, Hype starts the game equipped with a sword, which you can use for close-range combat. Thanks, Ubisoft, or thanks, Nintendo Power. And then, the first mistake of here, it says the bow and arrow. Everyone knows Hype has a crossbow. What the hell, Nintendo? What are you doing? I guess this is forgivable. It says a well-known tool is also available from the start and is handy for hitting far-off targets. It's a crossbow. He has arrows. And they're not arrows either. They're bolts. They're crossbow bolts. Nintendo Power. Get on your game. 13 years ago, Nintendo Power. And then we have our favorite thing ever, barrels. You can use barrels as platforms, or you can pick them up and throw them at enemies, which is easily the best part of Hype the Time Quest. Even though, see, one thing that, kind of a lot of things, that the Game Boy Color version has that none of the other versions don't. You can pick up barrels and throw them at people, which is fucking awesome. So here, we get through the spells. Instead of, like, in Hype the Time Quest, for the PC and PS2, instead of Hype getting spells, Go Good gives him spells. And apparently, I didn't know this here, but they're swords. They're different swords. You get a fire sword, an ice sword, and a lightning sword. And the fire sword is granted to him in the first era, ice sword in the second era, and lightning sword in the third era. No, in the fourth era. The fire sword is in the second era. Scratch that. And then third, and then fourth. Okay. Next page. Page 2, which is actually page 93 in the issue. Yeah, so I bought this whole magazine for about $9, $10 just for this 6-page section. So I can tell you a little bit about me. So, living up to the hype, puns. So, in the land of tourists, nobody is better known than the valiant knight Hype, who is single-handedly responsible for the peace and prosperity of the village. But an attack by Barnack, the Black Knight, has cast a dark shadow over the town. Hype was sent back in time, giving tourists last hope. Hype was sent back in time, giving tourists last hope. I don't know what that means. Now, you must travel through 4 eras and return to battle Barnack. And another thing we notice is the concept art of some civilians and some armor and weapons down there. which is cool. Also never in Hype. So here we go. The evolution of the town. It tells you that you can buy right there, weapon shop where you can buy bolts. The village people, there's inhabitants. Whoa, it's like it's a town or something. And it says that Gogud is an alchemist. When Gogud is an alchemist, but he is known as a magician, just to clarify, who is responsible for helping Hype through the eras. Don't be surprised to find the villagers a little paranoid, whatever that means. So the rest shop is where you can buy passwords after completing each level. If you happen to struggle on any one level, restart the game using your most recent password, which is the save system, which I think is balls, but that's how it was back then. And then the healing shop, where you can pay 15 plastics and you'll heal. Be sure you have enough money on hand. So here it goes through what you can pick up during your many levels of Hype the Time Quest for the Game Boy Color. And here we've got plastics, which is money. Arrows for your crossbow, not for your bow and arrow. No, they're bolts for your crossbow. Your hearts, which are self-explanatory. A UB key, which here, this is interesting. The unique UB key, or UBI, I don't know, UB key I'm calling it, allows you to use the Game Boy Color infrared link to exchange secret levels with a friend who owns another UB key enabled game. Secret levels. Now, I don't know if that means that there are secret levels in other games, or if there's actually secret levels in this Hype the Time Quest game, which I would very much like to see. So, because I didn't know there were secret levels. I haven't seen any secret levels. And then there's stars, which refill your magic, which is good. And Hype Head, which is an extra life. So on to page 3/94. So now we get into the actual gameplay. So I'm going to read all the little blurbs at the top. After being transported to the past, Hype finds himself lost among the chickens and sheep of the old Taurus. I like how they have like livestock in this game where they don't in the other one, in the other versions. After chatting with a few villagers, which is your hint to chat with people, head northeast to find the alchemist/magician, Gogud, who will instruct you to collect 3 sacred objects. Each object is at the end of a level. And then we've got some cool little, once again, concept art of, I guess that's supposed to be kind of Gogud, which is kind of cool, even though in Era 1 he's young. But yeah, I like it. So it's got the first level is the forest, pesky varmints, and it tells you that the dark bats tend to blend with the background. It gives you some hints, some passages. It tells you how to go, climbing up vines, blah, 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 blah. Then, right below that, I guess we'll start at the left, the manor, which would be Gogud's manor once again, but that wasn't the level. Whatever, I like the concept. Take a left at the start to collect the Ubi key. The level can be difficult at first, so don't spend much time roaming around at the expense for your health. Yep, if you remember or want to watch my Let's Play or anything, the manor is the most difficult of the first era. And then there's the fortress, which, you know, man-to-man combat. This is the first time that you find other knights who you have to fight against, and hidden treasures. There's the first, secret passages. And then in riding Zatila, which is after you complete all 3 of the all 3 levels, you get to ride Zatila. So after collecting all 3 objects, Gogud will lead you to a magical time portal where you'll ride a dragon. I didn't know about the magical time portal part, but that's cool. To reach the final boss and the next era. And it says, when you ride Zatila, the screen will scroll automatically, forcing you to dodge the hanging rocks. Use Zatila's fire to fry any creatures that try to harm you. Get to the end of the portal to face the boss. And the first boss is Grand Slack, just like in the game. Be ready to run when you face Grand Slack. It just tells you, Grand Slack, if you hit the legs, it's easy. It's got more fan on at the side and cool little screens of Grand Slack showing him shrinking when you hit him more, which I like. On to page 4. Village of Taurus Era 2, second era. The population has increased over time, which has resulted in more human enemies for Hype to contend with. That's actually cool how they incorporated that. Like, hey, more people. In addition, the terrain is a bit more treacherous and loaded with pitfalls, because that makes sense. Be sure to pay for energy after completing each level, which you should do after every level anyway. And this is, more human enemies, and I think in the shops everything goes up. And once again, Skeleton Knight concept art. So the first level, the Field of Courage, which is an actual field as opposed to the targets that were in the PC and PS2 versions. Harmless foes. The enemies on the levels are relatively harmless. You will come across some knights you can easily destroy, as well as the typical array of flying bats. The spikes will likely cause you the most trouble, which is true. And then danger from above and below. Watch out for spikes above and below. There you go. The Keep, which is the dungeon, pretty much. Ghoulish goblins. This is where you encounter for the first time regenerating or respawning enemies, like the skeleton. Here we go. Regenerating skeletons. They get up after a hit, and ghosts come back, and then switches and woo. And then the village of the bandits or the brigands or whatever you want to call them. And then the rich underground of the village is packed with coins. So yeah, this is the village of the bandits. There's a lot of coins in this level. You get dogs for the first time. And more acrobatics, which means jump around. Then you go on Zatila, and the first boss of the second era, so your second boss, I was right, is Jocelyn, who is mass. I don't know why they call him Jocelyn. I don't know where that came from. But Jocelyn might easily be mistaken for one of those oversized character balloons in the Thanksgiving parade, but I'm sure. And he uses his size to crush opponents. All as he prepares to jump, run forward and crouch down, then fire away as soon as he lands. So it's not like there's not these deep strategies for the bosses, because really you don't need that much strategy. Plus, I like how it gives you more time to figure it out for yourself. But in a game where you have to pretty much restart every time, it's kind of like eh. Next, Era 3. Science, technology, and religion have infiltrated Taurus in this third era. Just like in the other versions. Man, I don't know why I slip up every time. But forcing Hype to fight his way through dangerous laboratories and a well-protected monastery. Remember to collect enough coins to purchase health and passwords. So there we go, the Space Lab, which is mad science. Bill Nye the Science Guy. Around the world, we have to jump and through the walls. So this is actually a passage that I didn't know. So to the west, jump on the globe, and you find health, or get a new password to be sure. Well, I don't know. Money to restore your health, or get a new password. Yeah. So it's saying you get money to restore your health, or get a new password, blah, 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 blah. Then the laboratory, chemical poisons, because of the stupid water or chemicals. And then money in the wall, which you can get, which I knew. And then some concept art and art of a skull. Monastery. So the monastery has very few pitfalls or enemies. So this is just a long level of blah. And actually the laboratory is the long level of blah. But the monastery, where you have the barrels where they make beer, bounce around because you can bounce to get faster on the ladders, and then more treasure if you just go by the jewel and go down. By the way, the things you have to find in this game are the jewel, the flag, and an almanac in each level. And then we've got Rajoth, the third boss. And he doesn't look like Rajoth, and he's also not in the third era. Also, like Jocelyn / Mass was in this first era. Rajoth is in the second era. So you just gotta hit him in the head. And now, the fourth and final era. The final stage of Hype's adventures will prove to be the most challenging. After slipping and sliding through the Lost City, Hype must climb the tower and defeat Barnack without the luxury of stopping to restore health or buy passwords. So the Lost City is the first level. We got some concept art there. With a plethora of... Okay, I love just how like the game, it's this article is aimed for kids, but they use like with a plethora of falls to jump down. So, big words. I mean, I know. Tunnel to toboggan through. Like, really? What kind of kid who's reading this is going to know? The Lost City feels more like a water slide theme park, I guess. So, that's the Lost City. You go through it, lots of slides, watch out for spikes. Then, making it to the top of the Black Tower. Before entering the tower, be sure to restore your energy and purchase a password, which is good. Cautiously navigate the tower, you'll get plenty of energy to defeat the Black Knight. So, you got familiar foes, think fast, you have to get secrets, you'll have to, like, when you're falling, you'll have to go to the left really fast or whatever. Jump and slide, more money, stuff like that. And now we get to the Barnack, the Black Knight, the final boss, which is with his awesome green background. It says, time for revenge. To defeat Barnack, you need to study his pattern of movement and hit him at the approximate moment. Study the screenshots below before facing the final boss. And then it tells you what he will do. And then, peace has returned. Barnack should have known better than to mess with Hype. The town is saved and the party can begin again. Yeah, party! And concept art of Zatila, which is nice. And then it says, all hyped up. The villagers will be ecstatic after Hype defeats the evil knight and restores peace and prosperity to the plastic town of Taurus, because they're plastic. Who would have thought that one little Playmobil man could stand up and defend an entire community? I did, because Hype's a motherfucking badass. Hype may not be accustomed to getting any recognition out of his little corner of the toy shelf, but after this adventure, he might want to think about finding an agent. Ha ha ha, Nintendo Power being witty as always. So that, my friends, is my spread, and analyst, and whatever, and view of Hype, the Time Quest, for the Game Boy Color, the article, and I think it says Power Strategies in Nintendo Power, Volume 141, from February 2000, which is a long time ago, actually, because it is now 2013. And Hype hasn't been dealt with since then. Make a new Hype. I want a new Hype. So this is a special video, because I got it in yesterday. I got the scans. It took my printer forever. This video is going long, but yeah, to scan because it was being stupid. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my little spread. An LP will be up today. Hopefully a new episode of Hype. And I haven't started working on it yet, but the top 10 episode of the top 10 bosses of Hype the Time Quest the top 5 bosses of Hype the Time Quest are coming. I'm going to start work on that hopefully today, but I've been kind of working on new episodes and editing them together. And this obviously since it finally came in. So, thank you for watching. I'm theXdeity, and have an awesome day.